We're live! 2 minutes late today. What a shocker, eh? Normally pretty good with being reasonably on time, although things quite often don't work. Everything's tested, everything should be working again today. Should be all looking rather smooth and lovely. So, good afternoon everyone who is in the UK-ish or around here. Good evening to anyone that's in the evening, and good morning to everyone else. So another Voron 2.4 live stream. Pretty much going to jump straight into it today. There's a few things that have happened between the last stream and this one, so I'm just going to update you on that, and then we'll get on with the normal building. So quick update on things that happened between then and now. So firstly, I cut all the other panels. So I mean, I say all the others. There's literally like the bottom and the back. So there's two other panels that have to be cut. So as far as I can tell, all the side panels actually just are square. So no cutting to do there, which is good. That's very nice. What else did we do? I did cut down the DIN rails. So the rails that we had some problems with last time, being a little bit too wide, I've cut a good chunk off the ends so they fit nicely. Still having to use M3 screws due to the fact that, well, I don't have any M4 nuts and nothing was going to get to here between the last stream and this one. They don't look very... That doesn't matter. We can tighten those down. We've obviously got the rails on the other side. Excuse me. The extrusion on the other side, which is going to be holding the bed. So yeah, those were just cut down just to help everything fit in and make sure I have enough wiggle room to get everything in the position it needs to be. The third thing I've done is I've added a bunch of recommendation notes in the bill of materials. So if you go into the Google Sheet, you should see an additional column that was not there before. And that's just basically my very quick feedback as we go through the build process as to whether the parts are worth buying and fit with what they should be, if that makes sense. So most of this stuff I just put all in as pending, and I've just marked a few things just so you know of some of the parts I've done. That'll just get updated as we go, as I get through things and go, oh, well, these were a bit rubbish, probably don't get those. I'll mark them so you know probably not to buy from that link and maybe look for something else. So yes, that's the main changes. I think we're pretty much ready to get on with everything else. Ah, James, lovely. Thank you for sharing that link. Good work. Nicely done. Nicely done. Yeah, I think we can just get on with it today. I don't know how much progress we'll make. So we finished off here last time at the end of the, what do they call them? The motor tension of the Z bits. What do they call these parts? The Z drive mount. So we got all those on, they're nicely installed. So we've got idlers to work on today, well, to start with. Presumably this is an intentional angry face. It's quite funny. Pretty sure that was not done by accident. Maybe it was to begin with and they enhanced it with the additional eyebrows. I think these as well. Yes, these are the parts with eyebrows. That bottom camera is looking really strange today, isn't it? Or rather the top down one. I don't know why it's gone so weird colour. There we go, that'll do. N4 extruder on end of 3. What? Sorry, I don't understand the question. So we got all those parts needed for the Z idlers. So you got this kind of part with the eyebrows. and then the accented pullets as well. And then we're going to need M3 hex nuts, M3 by 16, some idlers, so idlers will be in that box. M3 by 16, I don't recall, that's probably M3 by 16. M5 by 30. Oh, there's loads of these. Oh, it'd be awesome to put an M4 extruder on an Ender 3. Yeah, could be. These kind of weird projects are always nice to give a go, whether they're necessarily a good idea or not. M5 by 30 GT. It looks like we're going to need M5 nut. How's that? Oh, the idler's just holding the screw. Huh? I'm confused. Well, let's carry on with this. So, try and make it as visible as I can. So we have this part here, and it's this at the back, lined up to that. Some adjustment. So that's what this, I think this is M3 by 16. They look kind of like the right length. No, those are 12. Are they all 12, or is that a one-off? That's 12, so I need some longer ones. Where's the... I'm pretty sure I have them, I just... Huh? M3 by 30, M3 by 20, M3 by 8, M3 by 6. Aha! M3 by 16. So, presumably this is to do some tension there. So you got it. Strange, I wonder why they've not done a threaded insert here. It seems like it's used in every other possible opportunity. Not there. And 2.5. We're going to have to pull this nut in, I think, a little bit. Yeah. So that's obviously to tension that Z idler. Tightening that screw is going to pull that in. Is a good little face, that. And then M5 by 30 with a 20-tooth 9mm idler. So that goes through. Are you just supposed to thread it into the plastic? Is that what they want you to do? I'm really not sure what's going on with that. I think that is what they want you to do. There's no indication of any nut. There's nowhere to put a nut. Screw won't go all the way through, so we're just going to thread it straight into the plastic. How is everyone doing today? It's very, very warm here. That's why I've not got the apron on. That's not very easy to access with that. I feel like I'm doing something wrong here, but I'm really not sure what it is. Because that screw is really not very easy to access as a belt tensioner. Once that belt's installed. Seems bizarre. I mean, I guess it's going to be possible with a ball head, but for anyone without a ball head, that's going to be impossible. Well, I'm pretty sure that's how they've asked for it, so I mean, that's this screws around the opposite way. On the instructions, you can see here the button head is opposite to this feature on the opposite side, whereas you come down here, this feature is now here, and the button head is like what, in the extrusion? No, it would be in front of, but I guess it doesn't matter. Is that? I did see your multi-material Cheshire Cat with the glow in the dark as well, wasn't it? Was it? That was the one, wasn't it? I'm doing it right, apparently. Okay, well, I'll carry on doing it like this. Sometimes these things are just puzzling. Yeah, so that's yeah, so we're going to have lots of space for the idler to move left and right, which hopefully is not going to be an issue. I guess it just, ooh, very squeaky. Yeah, I think having the idler move left and right probably is not going to be too much of a problem. It'll just allow it to sit wherever it needs to sit when it gets, I mean, naturally moved, I guess. That's the wrong way. That's more like it. Three. Number 4. Quite quiet today, only like 20 odd people. Maybe more people turn up later, don't know. So that's those 4 idlers, well, not installed, but built. And it wants you to install them straight away. So M5 by 30. Let's get the T-slot nuts. Yeah, normally I do them at like 7 o'clock, but last weekend I did one at 4:30, 4 o'clock-ish. Maybe it is just a little bit early. Maybe we'll have more people turning up a little later. How are we going to get the orientation of these correct? So they face inwards towards one another, away from that, so that would go like here. Probably help if I, yeah, because that's going to line up then with the idler that's down there. That makes sense. So I guess what we're going to do is flip that down this way. It's probably going to be the best way to show it. Ooh, this is really heavy. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to need that Allen key back that I keep using so we can jam these nuts in nicely. Oops, there. Oh, I've put that in the wrong way around. Is that going to work? They're going to turn right up against one another. Hopefully that will still work. Yeah, okay, I'm going to face them into each other again, I think. Oh, well done, Adam. Camera in the wrong place. Oh yeah, if you are wanting to build along with me, there's a few other links in the description as well. Whole bunch of stuff. Oh, I forgot to do my sponsor thing. Ooh, silly me. We have to do this. This video would not have been possible without our sponsors, Filafarm and Big Tree Tech. So a big thank you to them for supporting Vector 3D. You can find out more by just watching some more, or you can follow the links in the video description. I'm supposed to do that right at the start. We're going to have the full one in 10 minutes or so as well. It's very easy to forget these things, it's quite annoying. Right, that's 2. And we flip this all the way over. And we can do G2. I am indeed on page 29. It's going quite well. We've not had many issues with this build. I mean, we had these nuts I'm not a big fan of. Someone needs to sort out the nuts in general. Don't know if it's me, maybe it's just me, but it seems like they could be easier. I prefer the spring type. Like, the type of nuts is good because as long as you got the threads into them, like, you know you're tightening properly. The problem with hammer nuts is you can tighten them and they're not actually tightening against anything because they can spin, which is obviously what makes them work, but it also is what makes them not work. This, if you tighten too much, clamps the idler. I think we've got to be careful not to over tighten those at the moment. Hello everyone. I just noticed your comment there about watching this made you want to get a rat rig rather than a Voron, and I'm interested to know why. I'm not saying it's the wrong decision or anything like that. I'm just interested in what made you make that decision. These need to be just off by half a rotation at the moment, because otherwise they are going to grip the idlers, which will prevent me from tweeting everything properly. Why do they not? I don't know, this seems bizarre. Anyway. Oh, I've been using the wrong camera angle. Classic. So those are all in. Yeah, if you tighten these too much, then that kind of black part just clamps down on the blue bit and stops it being able to move in and out, which is probably what you want once you've got the idler in the right place. But until then, I'm just going to leave them a little bit loose so I don't forget that when I tighten them, I can still move them. Right, so according to the instructions, after that, we're moving on to the build plate. So although we only just had the other quick sponsor mention, we should probably mention Filafarm now. And we'll do the quick ad spot. So Filafarm are providing the bed, the whole bed system, in fact. So we've got the build plate, we've got switch plates, which is their spring steel, and then a magnetic sheet so you can remove it. Let's get the build plate for now. I'm going to just put it on just to test everything's in the right place and going to fit, and we can tighten everything up and that kind of thing. But I did look, and it seems like there's not much advantage to fitting it right now because it's very easy to fit later. But we'll get everything fitted in so the other parts of the print can be tightened down, and then we'll maybe take it off if it just gets too heavy to move everything around. So let's just have a couple, well, it's about a minute and a bit of the sponsors. This live stream would not have been possible without our sponsors, Filafarm and Big Tree Tech. Filafarm are a 3D printing bed specialist based in Germany. Filaprint is their high-performance, durable print surface designed to grip parts tightly when hot, but release them when cold. Their switch system utilises a strong magnetic sticker and 0.6mm spring steel to allow for easy swapping of bed surfaces. The bed plates offered are made from cast aluminium plate and are extremely flat, helping you get the best adhesion across the whole first layer. All of this can be made to standard sizes or customised upon request. Keep on watching to find out more, or follow the links in the video description. The Big Tree Tech Octopus is a 32-bit control board with loads of connectivity options for performance 3D printers like the Voron 2.4 and RatRig V-Core 3. It can connect up to 8 stepper drivers, 8 fans, 6 end stops, 5 thermistors, 4 heaters plus BL Touch, RGB LEDs, a TFT screen, USB-C. This livestream would not have been possible without our sponsors, RatRig, Duet 3D and 3D Prints. The Duet 3 Mini 5 Plus balances value and performance. It's focused on small and medium-sized machines. That's not gone quite to plan. That's all just gone a little bit wrong at the very last minute, that has. I've just noticed that it is still playing the old version. It doesn't... When you reference a video file for it to play, it copies it to another location and uses that rather than the original. So I replaced the original. I was like, oh yeah, now I'll just read that one because it's the same file name. But it didn't. And I've noticed it still just says sponsored in the video rather than sponsored. So apologies, we're just going to run that one more time just to make sure everything is working as it should be. And then we'll be back. This live stream would not have been possible without our sponsors, Filafarm and Big Tree Tech. Filafarm are a 3D printing bed specialist based in Germany. Filaprint is their high-performance, durable print surface designed to grip parts tightly when hot, but release them when cold. Their switch system utilises a strong magnetic sticker and 0.6mm spring steel to allow for easy swapping of bed surfaces. The bed plates offered are made from cast aluminium plate and are extremely flat, helping you get the best adhesion across the whole first layer. All of this can be made to standard sizes or customised upon request. Keep on watching to find out more or follow the links in the video description. The Big Tree Tech Octopus is a 32-bit control board with loads of connectivity options for performance 3D printers like the Voron 2.4 and RapRig VCore 3. It can connect up to 8 stepper drivers, 8 fans, 6 end stops, 5 thermistors, 4 heaters plus BL Touch, RGB LEDs, a TFT screen, USB-C and more. Pairing the Octopus with TMC 2209 stepper motor drivers allows for quiet operation using Stealth Chop, performance using Spread Cycle and Stool Guard for sensorless homing. Big Tree Tech also offer a mini 12864 display, which is ideal for the Voron 2.4 design. Check the links in the description to find out more. That's all looking a little bit better. Slightly doubled sponsor spot, but there we go. We're in now. We're sorted. So, I'm just seeing a bunch of comments about kits. So thank you for that. About watching this and saying that you probably rather have a RapRig, and it's basically sourcing. And if you've already got part of the parts, then that makes sense. Having the complete kit does make a really big deal in my mind. Just ordering from loads of different places that you don't necessarily fully trust, you can't be sure exactly what you're getting. It's a bit of a risk for when you're spending quite a lot of money. I think Big Tree Tech should probably put a Voron kit together independently, shouldn't they? That includes the screen, the drive. They probably do. Maybe they don't label it as Voron. Maybe I've just not checked. Maybe I'll suggest that. Because if they have a Voron kit, it's one of those, like micro kits that just makes things much easier for everyone to get the stuff that they need. So 3-point bed mounting. Some people have more luck in a 3-point bed mount. Have I just scrolled down too far? I have. Bed. Can have a heater. Heater and thermal fuse. So got to make sure I get this up the right way. So this mounts with the slots at the top. So the heater goes on the bottom. Got lots of fingerprints all over this now. But we're going to be cleaning it to put the what's it on. So let's just scooch the frame out the way, get some IPA, get a squeegee tool, not sure if we're going to need that, but it's useful to have. And we've got our heater mat, Does have some instructions with the Filafarm kit, just going to double check. This would Filaprint Direct. So I think quite often with the Vorons, people are just putting their print surface directly onto, well, not this side, the other side. But I much prefer having a surface I can remove, so I'm going the full magnetic route. So I've done this quite a few times now. Well, not for this printer, but applying these mats. But just in case you've not seen before, we're going to go through the whole process again. Seeing as I have to as part of the live build, that's sort of the plan, or sort of the point rather. So obviously first thing to do is just kind of get it in place, make sure it's going to fit, make sure that what you're trying to do is actually going to work. So that's all look good. We've got clearance for all the holes. When it's your first time building Voron, you can't be sure if you've got everything right, but hopefully that's all going to be okay. And then cleaning off the surface, very important to make sure the mat stays really well stuck. So either spray this on, wipe it round, use IPA wipes or whatever, but you just want to make sure that the whole bed is nice and clean, free from any greasy marks, any lubricants, any dirt, anything that would stop the bed having good contact and not sticking correctly. Yeah, so get quite a bit of dirt off. Gonna give it another quick wipe down. It does evaporate really quick, especially because it's warm. Sorry if I'm missing some of the chat. There you go. Pretty happy with that now. There's still a little bit of dirt coming off, but I think that'll probably be okay. Like a mirror. Now, positioning this. I'm going to start peeling one corner off. Just a little bit. We don't want to touch that corner first. I'm actually going to touch other corners first, get the position how I want it, and then put that corner down to finalize the position. So as I do this, just trying to make sure we don't get any air stuck in. So don't get it stuck down ahead of like where you're trying to add it. Be slow and methodical. Try not to touch the bed on the other side as you do it. So you've got to be careful around features that curl back on themselves a little, because the backing paper can tear. I'm not pressing too hard. really, just enough to get contact. Try not to have this at too high an angle either. That's not gone down very straight at all. How have I managed that? It's wonky as hell. Oh no. Oh, Adam. See, even after you've done this like 10 times, it's still possible to balls it up. That's annoying. Should have paid more attention. Can't really take it off. Once it's stuck down, so I think it might be just as I've applied it, I've pulled it a little bit too much and it's come out of contact. So we're just about okay. But that was not my finest hour, that's for sure. Yeah, I've made a bit of a mess of that, unfortunately. I'm not very happy with that. So although this corner where I started is in the right place, and the angle was right when I set it down, in the process of smoothing it out, I've obviously caused it to rotate a bit. So these cutouts don't really align very well with this. That's kind of annoying. Luckily, the heater is still all on the bed. If it was hanging off the side, that would be quite a big problem. But it is just about on there, which is okay. Yeah, not my finest hour, unfortunately, but just goes to show, hopefully, that you do need to be exceptionally careful, even when you've done this process 100 times before, because you can still get it wrong. Oh, that's annoying. It's one of those things that you literally have one shot at. And if you do enough of them, even when you think you're going to be fine, you still can make a mess of it. But that'll still work hopefully sufficiently well. We've got plenty of clearance still for screws, so hopefully not a problem there. Now this thermal fuse malarkey. Yeah, obviously you don't want it. Yeah. Thermal fuse. So on the diagram it looked like these holes in the corner were for thermal fuse. But there's no counterbore or countersink or thread in the holes. I think they were meant to be something threaded. What size are they? They're 4mm holes. I'm not sure how I'm going to fit this thermal fuse at the moment, so maybe I'll come back to it, or maybe we'll find a way. Where did I get my bed from? Great question. I got my bed from Filafarm, a German company. They're linked in the description. They're sponsoring, so you should be able to find that link without any trouble. So suggesting 3-point leveling, so we should be able to mount the fuse on one of these bed mounting points. Perhaps. Depends. We've got these knurled nuts, haven't we? These are going that's how high those are going to be. So that's going to be enough clearance around here. I mean, that's super close to the bed, but so we have maybe a little bit of room. There's not much room at all. The alternative is these holes, but there's nothing. The holes on the other side don't give you, like, your surface is going to be here. So if you've got a big head coming up here, you'd want it at least maybe countersunk or something. I've not seen how anyone else does this, and there's not much information, is there? It's just like instructions. Heater, fuse, do a thing. So I could obviously just like bond it on here. That's something I've done previously with some like silicone. It's a bit messy, isn't it? But yeah, I thought the holes were meant to be tapped. I don't think I have an M4 tapped, and I don't think the hole's the right size to be tapped. I think we'll leave the fuse for now. I need to make a note. That's going to be something we're going to come back to at another time, because I don't want to. I don't want to silicone it to this if I don't have to. But yeah, I think these holes should be tapped, so we'll have a look at that, and I'll get back to you. Maybe I'll have to drill out these holes just a fraction more and do the M5 tap or something. We'll see. We shall see. So it's not actually mounting anything yet. So now we're deflanging. This is another weird process. Did look at this one a little bit yesterday. A couple of days ago, in preparation. So I have actually printed a tool. Now this is from Voron 2.2. They had a tool to do this. But to begin with, I was like, do we have to just like hack at it with a hacksaw? But the way these are made is that this teeth part is in the middle, is one part, as is the middle here and the middle here, and then you have an outer ring and an outer ring, and these two rings can actually slide off independently. So those flanges can be just pulled off in theory. So what I've got here is a tool from Voron 2.2 which should allow me to simply deflange this pulley. So make sure those grub screws are out of the way. This tool was supposed to have these big handles, but I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to need those, so I just cut them off because it reduced the print time by like an hour. Hopefully I don't need them, because otherwise I'm going to look pretty silly. I've put those grub screws too far in, so instead I'm going to take them all the way out. So we've just got a long M5 screw here, and that should be able to contact the inside area of the pulley, but not it misses the flange on the outside, so that flange should be able to push off. That's the plan. So you've got screw, nut, assembly. You put that right on the top here, and that means as you pull that screw, it will pull the whole body down, but the flange should stay up the top, thus removing it from the body. We're going to take that nut down into the slot at the bottom, close this up, and hope for the best. So I'm not sure how much force it's going to need. Basically 0, apparently. That was incredibly easy. Look at that. Deflanged. Boop. Well, that was so easy, I'm not even sure if I needed the tool. I feel like it was so easy I could have done it by hand, but maybe not. Either way, that was fantastic. If you're struggling to do it, definitely get that tool. Very easy with that. That's from Voron 2.2. So if you're on the GitHub, you can just change the version to a slightly older version, the 2.2 version, and then you'll find the files for that. Whoops, it is. Cool. So we deflanged that. Now we need a shaft, a 30mm shaft. Let's get this box down over here. Where's my pouch box? Oh, all the M5 spaces have just fallen into the bottom of the box. Oh well. So this is the shaft. Looks like it's chrome plated for some reason. I'm really not sure how this is supposed to work, so I'm not sure what I'm doing at the moment. Just trying to follow the guide. Important notice, we have specified a notch to be cut in the Z Endstop pin along with a grub screw. This is simply to prevent it from falling out if you tilt your machine to do work on it in the future. This does happen, even to the best of us, and can result in a nozzle strike with significant damage to the gantry. Oh, so this is going to be a Z Endstop, and if it falls out, then there will be no Z Endstop. Seems like a flaw. But I guess with that notch it'll be fine. It is recommended that you cut and size this pin as your last step in the build process. Build plate configurations are sometimes different based on removable build plates, like mine is, etc. If the pin is too short, you will strike the hot end housing on the build plate. If it's too long, you will hit it during prints. Great. When securing the grub screw, remember that the shaft has to move in order to hit the micro switch. It should not be tight to the shaft, but rather left loose to allow for movement. It is intended to be installed backed out slightly and held in place with retaining compound. If you have questions, please ask in the Discord. This is one of the most critical steps to your build, so please take care of assembly of this component. Okay, so what I'm hearing is that this is not meant to grip this. This has to slide in here. I don't know why, but it has to for some reason. So because it has to slide, by the look of things, it goes that way up. So it's going to slide, and is it going to touch the switch or something? But if you turn your printer upside down, that comes out. But you don't notice, and then you carry on printing, it goes to home, and it just smacks into nothing, and you've destroyed something. So we're going to have to, well, hopefully there's something at the end of the instructions, because if there's only this on page 33 and I've got 100 pages more to do and it doesn't mention it again, I'll probably forget. Hopefully it does. Are you going to make a follow-up to your Kickstarter campaign? Sometime, yeah, sure, probably. I don't know when. Okay, so we've got a printed block. Where's that? That's not it. Okay, it's not in the ZZ Drives box. It's obviously in a different set of parts. So I'll have to go scooch around for that. Did your shaft come pre-notched, or are you notching it yourself? Well, presumably I'll have to notch it myself. It is not pre-notched. The others were. So the set of 4 for the Z drives, they were had basically a D-shaped shaft all the way along. But obviously that's not what you want for this, and it's not got anything pre-made. I don't know why they don't just like do a D for maybe 80% of it and just leaves the ends round, so you can't pull it all the way out, but it leaves you plenty of adjustment. I don't know. Maybe there's a good reason. It's just not one I've found yet. There's so many parts to this printer, it's just... it's mind-boggling. Ooh, that looks like a thing. I think I've spotted it. Yep. Yep. Still bags and bags and bags of parts. I don't know what any of them do. One for your list, look up the sex bolt mod. Less prone to slipping out. I'm sure it's sort of hard to source, but there's no reason why it can't be made. I mean, if Pouch, these people that put all this kit together, I'm sure they could do it. I guess it's just not going to be... the issue is cost, really, isn't it? No one's going to want to pay 20 quid for a tiny little shaft when you could just do it yourself for almost nothing. Endstop switch. Install the micro switch with two self-tapping screws. I've noticed also something that we're going to have a problem with. We shall get to it. Una memento. Huh, where's those? I've got self-tapping screws somewhere. Here they are. Enormous bag of these things. So my harness kit won't be arriving until probably Monday. So I don't think I'm going to have that. Well, I don't have that JST 3-pin connector, so we're not going to actually be able to do that at the moment. Secure the micro switch with 2 of your M2 self-tapping screws. Make sure to remove the lever from the micro switch as it will get in the way. So I think the best way to remove this is actually with a small pair of pliers. Maybe these grippy things. So I think if we pull this together, let's close up so just in case it's useful. So that's what the micro switch looks like, and we need to remove that lever. This kind of slit in here is there because the way that this lever gets into here is they pull it together, put it in and let it go, so it works as a spring. So hopefully if we pull that 2 sides together, should be able to, there we go. So we can get it out quite easily, and we could put it back in if we wanted to, but It just gets it out without mangling or damaging anything. So you don't go through 6 end stop switches just trying to remove a lever. So we also want to align this, obviously, sensor part to the middle of here. I'm guessing where that's going to have this pin come through here. So that's got to go in there, hopefully. And at some point that's going to line up with some holes. Hoping we can just push it in as far as it goes. That seems to be about right. And then that and there. What size do we need? Tiny size. Do we have smaller than that? We have 1.5. Tiny. There we go. Perfect. So it looks like what you do is kind of weirdly bend these end stop pins over, I guess. You bend them over towards where the JST connector would be and just try and solder them to it. Not totally sure. We'll find out. We've got a harness coming, as I said, on Monday. So there probably won't be another live stream before then. So that means by the time we do the next live stream, we'll have that part. So for now, we're just going to have to breeze past. Ah, some force, can it? Well, let's give it a go, shall we? How much force are we talking? My one seems to go in pretty easy. Almost to the point where I kind of want to get some glue on there. Because that's all we need is the precision hole, isn't it? That's all it's there for. So that you can press this. There you go. That's how that end stop switch. I do actually quite like that. It's kind of weird, but does seem to be. It's a low cost precision hole, I suppose. That's all that. The only job that's doing. So I think I'm not going to glue it in now because I might want to take it out just related to this whole solder job. So we'll leave it like that for now. I think that's good enough as we go. It's really satisfying little clicky thing. It's just, I don't know if you can hear it. Anyway, so M3 by 20 screws. Let's get these end stop switches out of the way. And screws. M3 by, what was it, 20. I'll screw it in place now, but I'm guessing we're just going to need to take it out to do the soldering and whatnot. It's not going to be the end of the world. So let's get all this lot out to the side, and then we bring the printer back in and we'll stick everything on there. So I guess at this point we need a front and back to the printer. I have no idea. I could make an educated guess, but there's no bottom panel shown in here. So I'm going to guess that where these holes are in the bottom panel, these are for some cables to go through, probably, right? So guessing that's going to be the back, and that's going to be the front down over here. Oh, there's a big piece of metal stuck in this knurled nut. Nice. Let's get rid of that. So these are another weird component because we're not actually using them as a nut. This is one thing I have noticed. They're actually just being used as a spacer. And I think we're just going to go with 3 because we don't really want 4 points. I guess we'll probably leave this one because that's the closest to that. So we'll go those 3 points. I don't know how easy this is going to... Oh dear. So we need to get some M3 nuts in, don't we? No charge for the extra metal. Got to think of the scrappage value. That's fractions of a penny. Can't let it go to waste. Where's that Allen key I had? Did I put it away? No. Too big for the M3 ones. That's the one I said I wasn't. Nope, that's the right one. So, and then this one up over here. Yeah, I'm going to put everything in now, put the bed in now so we get the nuts in the right place, we get these rails positioned, and then we can go back, I'll take it out so I can move everything around, and then we'll go back and bolt it down later. So we're just going to do a kind of intermediary step now, just to make sure everything is going to work how we want it to. Oh, we can just slide it in, can't we? So if we put this on here. Nice. It's not really provided any dimensions or positions for anything. Guess it's up to me to try and make everything square. So that is a position that works. So it might not be quite right, probably isn't quite square, but it does mean we've got a position where we can lock everything down. So I'm going to go around these nuts and call this good enough for that position for now. We can obviously come back to it later if we need some slight modification, but at least we know we've got something that's going to function. So that should not fall out now. We can tip this back. And we've got these ones on the base, tighten it here. The slight downside of this panel that is the this kind of fluted stuff is it does compress a lot, so when you're trying to screw into it like this, it's a bit concerning because you can just crush the whole material, which I don't really want to do. Might need to get some Loctite on these as a final position so they don't back out, because we can't torque them properly. Because there's a good reason not to use this fluted low-cost material. So Z end stop position, meant to fit under the build plate. The end stop is meant to fit under the build plate, but please make sure that the pin is not touching the bed. It can transfer heat, giving inconsistent results in Z probing. Huh? Under the... How the... What the fuck? This is really quite confusing. I mean, I understand the instruction, but I don't understand how it's going to work in the end. This is telling me to go here. This is really squiff, isn't it? That should line up with that, ideally. Something here is really not straight. Maybe it doesn't matter. Let's not worry about it. I do not understand how this is going to work, and I'm a bit worried this is going to fall out. I think what I'll do at the moment is tighten the grub screw. I could really regret that, but that's what I'm going to do. It's difficult to me to say what you can and can't use as an alternative to the nailed nuts, because at the moment I don't understand how it works. So unless I understand how it works, I can't suggest alternatives that also would work. So until I know how it works, I'm just going to have to go with what the instructions tell me to do. See, I was kind of expecting this to be, it doesn't occur, it won't click now, will it? I was expecting this to actually, like the nozzle comes to touch that, rather than the, how's it going to sense the bed? The bed doesn't flex, does it? Really? Ooh. It's definitely not going to fit under there. The pin's enormous. Does it have to move in and out? Is it just... Oh, I have no idea. So, okay, I'm going to now remove the bed, and that'll just keep our printer a bit lighter for moving around. We'll put it back in later if and when we need it. Well, we definitely will need it at some point, obviously. Otherwise it's not going to be much of a printer. So just tighten those screws down so they don't come out. Yeah, this rail is all over the shop. It's like so wonky. We'll adjust it at another time. Only part of it under the bed. Oh, I see. This made it sound like the whole end stop goes under the build plate. I was like, how is that going to work? I'm driving you mad. These instructions are driving me mad. It doesn't make... Well, it does kind of make sense, but I don't understand it. Right. Let's get that out of the way. going to be moving on to the gantry. This is a bit further than I was expecting today. That I guess, as I've not been able to complete everything fully because some of the parts are not here yet, we're moving a little bit quick as we're skipping some things. But we've got heated inserts, so we can use my... I really need to give this a name. Who can think of a really good name? I was thinking... So the only one that I've come up with, which is mildly good, is Elvis Presley. Because it's a heated press. But I don't think that's a very good name. I think it's okay, but I think it could be better. So if anyone can think of a mildly funny word pun based name for my threaded heated insert press tool thing, that would be amazing. Oh, YouTube's doing that thing again where it thinks everyone's just immediately left and come back. Shirt with shorts is the it's the pandemic fashion, isn't it? So let's get this heated up. Going for 300 Celsius again. That seemed to work reasonably well before. I'm going to move this way. Yeah, I'm going to have a little scan in a minute once I've got myself orientated. I guess we don't need that flange, it's not really good for anything. Oh, that smells funky. So for those that missed my update, this part, the grip now is made out of ABS. So the small amount of heat that does get to the grip shouldn't affect its rigidity. Are we going with Elvis Presley then? This just sounds so bad. There's got to be a better one than that. I've lost my threaded inserts. There's some inserts. So what's this section we're moving on to now? This is AB drives. So hopefully it's going to be a bag, printed parts, that's labelled AB drives, which will have a bunch of parts in. Pressy McPress face. Front idlers, skirt exhaust, some panel pieces, Z joints, might we need those. This is X carriage, I don't think we need those yet. X carriage, that's all carriage based things I think. Looks like one of those bags was labelled AB drives, but I've repackaged them to try and make more sense of what I have, and have lost the parts I do have in the process. XY joints, that sounds like something that might be needed soon. Clips for electronics. AB drive units, that sounds like the package. Press the i3. Call it Joseph Presser. I think that's quite good. Oh dear. I think Joseph Presser might be even better than Elvis Presley. Oh dear. So those parts are definitely really need these inserts. Heat inserts. So there's something that looks like that that's got, I think it's these, isn't it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, all of them? No, these two are different. These two. I think maybe just this one. Yes, the container and ship is sadly coming to an end. As exciting as it was, I'm glad it's over. So that's going to be threaded into there. I'm not finding many inserts, unfortunately, so we're not going to get to do many. I think 4 is about it. This one was not obvious on any. I think I might just get all these parts out because it feels like we'll probably get through this today. Oh, shouldn't probably say that bag order. We use that. So for anyone that's not seen this before, it might seem super basic, but probably the best tool I've ever made, because getting these inserts just right and just square is not easy unless you have this, in which case it's super duper easy. Do 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 do. Would you look at that? Was I blocking that with my hands the whole time? I wouldn't be surprised if I was. Don't think so. My shipment, by the way, from the container / the ship has shipped. That's what's going to be here on Monday. So that's going to be my motors and harness, I believe. Unfortunately, that's all the inserts we've got for today, which is very sad. I wish we had more. Goodbye threaded inserts. Going to need bearings, so pouch box for bearings. Guessing we're going to need quite a bunch of those. Bearing stacks. M5 hex knot, M540, M3 washer, blah 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 blah. There's loads of different parts here. This is going to get confusing. So I'll leave that there just in case. M5 B40s. So grab some M3 washers, little pile of M3 washers, M540 screws, that's that lot I think, M540s. Oh no, oh yeah, M540 and M340. M340. We need the M5 shimmy dims. I wish I hadn't made a mess of this bag. No, it was an accident, but I really want a bag that's resealable. This is not a resealable bag, which is why they all came out in the first place. The shipment saga is coming to, oh yeah. I'll be happy when the UPS bloke TM shows up on the UPS bloke TM. Yeah, my Monday's UPS. Looking forward to getting that part. All that will be everything, I think, and then we can go full speed ahead. Maybe we'll try and squeeze in 3 streams a week or something. I'm just trying to work out what all these parts are now, because of all those I just got out of the box, none of these are the ones that I need. Is that anything that I need? Don't think so. None of those have that Voron logo in. Not that lot, not that lot. Doesn't look like those. Please say I have all the parts. Or is it? Am I just being a numpty? I don't think so. Oh no, this is... That is... okay, I think I do have them. I'm just being a numpty. So... where's the bearings? Here. So, 2 bearings. Avec 2 shims. Before we carry on, we're just going to have a quick sponsor break. You won't miss anything. Back in just over a minute. This live stream would not have been possible without our sponsors, Filafarm and Big Tree Tech. Filafarm are a 3D printing bed specialist based in Germany. Filaprint is their high-performance, durable print surface designed to grip parts tightly when hot, but release them when cold. Their switch system utilises a strong magnetic sticker and 0.6mm spring steel to allow for easy swapping of bed surfaces. The bed plates offered are made from cast aluminium plate and are extremely flat, helping you get the best adhesion across the whole first layer. All of this can be made to standard sizes or customised upon request. Keep on watching to find out more, or follow the links in the video description. The Big Tree Tech Octopus is a 32-bit control board with loads of connectivity options for performance 3D printers like the Voron 2.4 and RapRig VCore 3. It can connect up to 8 stepper drivers, 8 fans, 6 end stops, 5 thermistors, 4 heaters plus BL Touch, RGB LEDs, a TFT screen, USB-C and more. Pairing the Octopus with TMC 2209 stepper motor drivers allows for quiet operation using Stealth Chop, performance using Spread Cycle and Stool Guard for sensorless homing. Big Tree Tech also offer a mini 12864 display, which is ideal for the Voron 2.4 design. Check the links in the description to find out more. Let's get on with this. So, again, if you want to follow along with the instructions, you can find the link for those in the description. So it looks like there's some sort of features that are here to help you locate these 2 parts together. I think that's the sort of thing I'm looking to do. I have really no idea. This is so unclear. That's there, and then randomly in here there's some sort of, this is on here, that goes over there, so I think that's going in. How the dickens? The bearing stack can be a little tricky to install. Sometimes it helps to use the M5x40 as a guide and feed the washers and bearings in one at a time. Yeah, I'm thinking the same. So I'm going to try and pokey this up from the bottom so we can just see it poking out on the inside. And then we have one of those, flange bearing, a little bit more screw, a little bit more screw, flange bearing up the other way, and then finally the shim. Made it. Damn it, where's the M5 nut? Forgot it. Here we go. So if we just chuck that in there, hopefully that will tighten nicely. Gonna need an M4, 4mm rather, hex for that. So that's obviously supposed to slidey like this, which do hit. I don't get it. Can you explain? I'm guessing it's a abbreviation for something. Disgusting over-engineered heat insert tool. That was very good. Disgustingly over-engineered. I'm going to write it down. I've lost track now. M3 washer and an M3x40. I've never heard of 3D printers bay, so probably it's not. I don't know. Sounds dodgy AF to me, but who am I to judge? Okay, so now we've got this little screw in there, and that's going to help tension. So we've now got, man alive, this is confusing. What is going on? I'm guessing this stack on the left is on the right rather. This stack here, that's what I've just done, but it's showing you the stack and ignoring the part. Whereas this one I think is going to be for this next assembly, or is there another one? You can't create that stack because you've got to put it through this part here. So yeah. Okay. Apart from it looks like I'm supposed to make 2 of these, so let's make 2 of these first. The bearing stack can be a bit tricky to install. Sometimes it helps to use the M5x40 as a guide. Oh, they've got this. They've got the same. This says M3 hole and then talks about the M5, where this says the M bearing stack and talks about the same thing. I think someone's copied and pasted that note and not changed what they wanted it to say. So is that going that way round? Confused AF. This is up the other way. Oh, okay, yes. I see. M5x40 up through here. Carefully does it. Gonna need another 2 spaces and another 2 bearings. That's 3. So 1 spacer on the base. Nope. God damn it. Okay. 1 piece in. Bearing flange down. Bearing flange up. And then shim right in the gap. I've not actually used that enclosed thermal fuse, that's just what I bought. You can check where I got it from. I don't know if they're any better, but I'm pretty sure that's what the BOM suggests, so that's why I have that one. Right, there we go. It doesn't say it wants any Loctite on that. Seems like it could come loose to me, but hopefully not. And then we're M3 washer again, and M3x40 for an adjustment. I see you building useful and complex printers all the time. I think you need more fun projects in your life. This is fun for me. What are you talking about? Like a toy rep from the Rep Ricky. I don't know what that is. The motion on this one is kind of loose, but this one seems... Is it just because of this? No, I think the bracket's just a bit tight. Dumped out my hand. So we've done 2 of those. Now on to the next part. Oh, see, this is weird. This is... let's just get going and we'll see where we get confused. Upside down. It's easier to build these upside down. Feed the M3 and M5 bolts through the top, flip it over and start building your bearing stacks. Do 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 do. Okie dokie. But which part are we using? Not that. Not that yet. Not that. Must be this. That's just the first one. So we are button heads, M5x30. Where's my big box of those? And 3 M3x30s. That's M3x40s. One, two, three, and 3 by. I feel like we're going to need motors for this, and I don't have any. So bearing stacks. We're shim, flange down. Damn it. Flange down. And then flange up. Shim. Come on. There we go, shim. And the other one is shim, flange down, flange up, shim. Shiminy. Right. Shim, shooey. Hello, 3D Mamsi. I can't pronounce that. And then we've got to find something that goes on the top here. So is it that? That looks reasonably close. Oh, are we just threading into plastic again? Is that really a thing? So this is now this one? This one? No. It's that one. So this is this. That and that. We don't actually need the M3x30s yet. Let's start the shim. Oops. More bearings. Flange down. Flange up. Flange down. Flange up. And then double shim. Single shim for the other one. No, this is wrong. No, this is right. And then flange down, flange up, and one more shim. Cool. We've got this little doohickey here, which looks like it needs 2 M3 nuts. Which looks slotted for some reason, which is bizarre, but sure. Oh, it doesn't really stay. I don't know if the Filafarm guys are watching the stream. I do let them know, but I don't know if there's anyone watching. They can tell you if there is. If you don't have the motors, then no need to do the M3s right now. Yeah, I figured. That's what those are for. That's indicative NEMA spacing. Yeah, I think, didn't it say, yeah, will not stay in. And not stay in place unless the cable chain mount is attached. You may wish to add this part now or skip this until later when you're ready to add the cable chain. Apply the thread lock compound to 2 more motors with pulleys. So I guess I'm going to get some rando motors that we can use for now, but will be replaced very soon. Try and get 2 that at least look similar. M3 by 30, aren't they, those? And we've got pulleys to put on, 2 6mm pulleys. Again, not going to be using thread lock because this is just going to be temporary fitment. I'm going to put mine face down at the minute. It's not going to add too much. They probably won't be here long. Hopefully we'll get our shipment on Monday as planned and then can swap out all the motors. This one's probably almost certainly going to be better the other way up. So it's not clear which one we're applying to. That looks like it won't work. That looks like, oh, it goes diagonal. So that's going to be the top one. This is going to be the low one. Why do I always pick up the wrong one? 2, 3. Where's the 2.5? It's over here. by pure guesswork, I aligned that rather well. So we can see how the teeth of the pulley in there, down at the bottom, are going to be aligning with this pulley here and this pulley here, so the belt's probably going to go in that way, back round over here, and then out that way and down here. So that's over here, down there, and over there. That's a guess, I don't actually know, but that looks like the only way it would work. Yeah. So then we've got the other belts. It's going to go top side. Again, not worrying too much for me where the location for the... In fact, let's double check. So on that image, for me, it's... Oh, that's the other side. That way round, so I think it's going to go around the back. There we go. That's, for me, it's not really aligned. I'm going to be swapping it out, so not too worried about it at the moment. But there's plenty of access in here for getting to those grub screws if you did want to change it, which you would because you'd want it aligned. The connector needs to be on the other side. Not according to the instructions, that's what I was just looking at, wasn't it? Which is, I mean, I've done mine both differently. But, so we've got the Voron logo on this side, and on the instructions there you can't see the connector, so it could only be going this side or the side out the back, so that way or that way, because this face here we can see it's not there. So that would be for this one, so that would be there because that's that. We seem to be making quite a bit of progress today. Sort of, even though we're going to have to go back and change everything. Have them facing in, so the opposite. Okay. Hopefully I'll have enough. Yeah, we'll see. Thank you for the info though, very helpful. So of the remaining extrusions, we've got 2 of those, one like that and one short. So it's the one that's different but not the shortest. We need the rail guide and some rails. Feels like we're making really good progress today. Is that just me? I feel like we've absolutely whizzed along. I will be using the Dragon High Flow hot end. I would have really liked to get one of the Voron edition Dragon High Flows, but it's just the one I've got is just a standard, well, standard-ish. The Dragon High Flow normal colours, not the red Voron one. Although that being said, my Voron isn't red, so maybe it was for the best. So, a bunch of nuts here. you should have 2 printed nail rail grabber things, which I don't think. I think I only have 1. I just have to move it. I do have 2. After all that, messing around with them on the Z rails, because I just used a blooming second one. Never mind. So this obviously goes on here. You don't need the bottom rail. Interesting. If they say you don't need it, why is it there? I mean, I totally agree. It does seem like it would cause it to bind. That was my first thought. It does seem odd. How many screws are we going to do? Maybe 4 is going to be enough. I did every third on the other, but maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's weird. 1, 2, 3, 4 there. 1, 2, 3, 4 there. There we go. 4. That should be enough. Is it M3x8? I'm going to install 2 rails because that's kind of what it says. If I choose to change later on, then I'll do that later on. But until I have the good evidence to be ignoring the instructions, I do tend to follow them, mostly. Isn't it? I mean, if I can set up this printer without any nozzle crashes, that would probably be a miracle. I'm definitely not expecting that. Can we space this at the end as well? No. I don't know how much space I need at either end. Doesn't really say. Maybe it doesn't really matter too much. Need to get it about even and hope for the best. That's 1, that's 2 clips, so that should be nicely centered. Oopsie daisy, that was careless. One, 2. Three and the 4th. Oh, that's not ideal, is it? How you the legs are too long. It doesn't. I can't put it down properly on the rail. What have I done wrong there then? Provided no warning for such an event. The only thing I can think is to cut the legs off. Otherwise there's no way to control that distance. When turning the fasteners to hold the linear rails in place, ensure that you have attached a centered rail installation guide to both the top and bottom. It doesn't say not to tighten them. If I just cut 5mm off the bottom of these legs, that shouldn't be a problem, should it? And then I can at least get it centered. There we go, much happier now. Andre, there's a system called Print It Forward, which is kind of organised by Voron in a way, and they will print all the parts you need. You obviously just have to pay for someone to do it. So if you go into the bill of materials that I've supplied, the Google Docs link, Google Sheets rather, you will find towards the bottom, if you look for Voron PIF, Voron PIF, Print It Forward, you'll find a link to Voron. Or you can just Google Voron 2.4 Print It Forward or whatever. All of those things will work. Or just in the description. There you go. XY joint assembly. So that's another partially done thing which goes there. So this was XY parts here, wouldn't it? XY. Yes! Smash the like button for anyone that hasn't already. Obviously, if you already have, feel free not to do it now. Left XY joint assembly. M5x40 socket head cap screw. Looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's weird. Okay, that just kind of holds that. And then we're bearing stacking onto here. One of those. I've lost my bearings. Here they are. Flange down, flange up, and wash on the top. Shim, I should say. That just says go on there. So let's bring up this. Yep, building your own enclosure for a printer you already have is a possibility. Printed forward is not the fastest scheme, but they do have great print quality, so if your printers can't produce fantastic, this is just not very tight, is it? If your printers can't produce particularly great prints, then having somebody else do it is quite a good option. Also, remember you've got loads of other parts to order and arrive, so I mean 5 months is quite a while, but there you go. I've just guessed with this one, I might put that to the side. This looks like it doesn't align. Is that the wrong part? Oh, those holes definitely don't line up. What the shit? Oh, that's the wrong one. That goes on there. There we go. Three M5 hex nuts in the bottom. Oi, oi. Oops, there's it. So I'm just holding it upside down so the loose M5 nuts in the bottom here that are being captured just fall onto the screws. Hello, hello, hello. People just joining. Joining quite late, but just joining nevertheless. That's clearly going there. This way? No. These are not easy to get right. No, I think that is right. That does not fit. Oh, because I've done it the wrong way round. You big old muppet. Have I? Blooming nightmare, this assembly. 4 of those in there, that on there. My idler looks really, really wide. Shouldn't be a problem. Flange down, flange up. Is that the right way around? No. Why is it up? It's this one. Oh shit. Okie dokie. That's those 2 assemblies. I think I might stop there because I might be having some alternative Endstop things. So I don't want to go using... Oh, that's a different part, that heated insert. That's not the Endstop, is it? This is so confused. That's this, isn't it? I think we're going to stop there. We've hit 2 hours and things have gone well. I don't want to rush it. We've got obviously some backtracking to do to fix things already, so I don't want to have to backtrack too many parts. Cool, we've got a whole load of assemblies all ready to go for this gantry though, so that's looking pretty good. Really happy with the progress we've made today. Quite a lot still to do, obviously. We're definitely not at something that looks like a printer yet, but everything's coming along rather nicely. So next stages, we've got obviously that shipment coming in Monday, so that's going to be the motor set, so we have to replace all the motors that we've already done. Hopefully that won't take too long. And we also have the harness coming in, so potentially some Endstop PCBs and stuff like that. Can't remember exactly what's going to be coming. Obviously we've got to sort out that switch on the bed, that's got to be done. So lots of things to do, but everything looking pretty good so far. I'm sure you'll agree. Big thank you to the sponsors, Filafarm and Big Tree Tech. Blooming fantastic for them. Thank you very much for supporting the channel and this set of live streams in particular. So yeah, that's going to be it for today. I've got other things to go and do. Exciting, anyway. I shall see you in the next. I feel like I've forgotten. What have I forgotten? I think I've forgotten something. No, probably not. Anyway, yeah, thank you very much everyone for watching. Thank you for sticking around. Hopefully this has been useful for those of you that needed a little bit of a helping hand going along with your build. Thank you to everyone that's provided some info in the chat. Thank you to James for moderating. That's been very useful, very much appreciated. And everyone have a great weekend, rest of the weekend, remaining half of the weekend. And I will see you in the next live stream, probably going to be Wednesday next week. Probably in the evening. Maybe at some point we're going to do like an early morning UK time one, but that might be when we get towards the electronics and the big tree tech stuff. So everyone have a good weekend, and I will see you in the next one.